reaching into the past. ICENET. Dynasties live here.
Taking the pass. 4.5 minutes into the opening period. No score as Hogue races into the Ranger zone to recover a centering pass. And they score! Ferraro!
For a moment, Jiggs, I thought I was back in Philadelphia. It almost appeared as though Brian Leach put it in his own net. Benoit Hogue with some speed. There's the play to the front of the net. There's the clearing attempt by Leach. Ferrero was standing close to him, but I believe that Brian Leach put it into his own net. Tough to tell from there, but Leach appeared to be the last player to touch the puck before it entered the net. Ferrero, the closest play, will it go to Benoit Hogue, who played it to the front of the net, I believe.
Here's Gary King with a cross-ice feed. Turgeon drops it for Thomas. Goes up on them. Chinoff looks for somebody coming late. Malakoff takes it at the point. Shoots to a screen. He scores!
His hard, heavy shot, a low one, is deflected in front of the net. I don't believe it was Turgeon. He may have gotten it after. It was deflected the first time. Maybe get a better look at it here. Thomas feeds it. There's the shot. I believe the defenseman is going to get credit for the goal. Vladimir Malakoff. That hit a couple of Ranger players on its way in, unless Pierre Turgeon, standing just to the left of Mike Richter, may have touched it. But it's a 2-0 Islander lead. We played 6 minutes and 13 seconds of the first period.
Roger Nielsen has given us a look at a little different unit here. Mike Richter played it off the boards. The Islanders score! Oh, boy! You don't get a whole lot like that during a season, do you?
A couple of firsts going on in this hockey game. That was David Bollick's first goal of the season. Sharp angle up against the board. It was long distance. Seemed to fool Mike Richter. There's Richter as he clears the puck around the board. Bollick grabbed it and quickly moved it to the net. There. Didn't it appear as though Richter was screened? It went between his knees, trickled in behind him, just made it across the goal line. Oh, it was deflected.
I think Brian Mullen got a chunk of that.
Yes, he did. Looked as though Mullen deflected it down. That being the case.
Pulled up on Leach. Drops it back toward the point. Ferraro to Hogue to Norton, cruising in on the left side. Set it. Oh, shot off the post. Blackley had it. The goal light came on, but no goal, and referee Paul Stewart is going to ask for a video replay. He's not positive that the puck wasn't in.
That's a good call by the referee, Jiggs. I'm almost assured that it hit the crossbar, although it had a funny sound to it. It seemed to come back quickly, which means that had it gone into the back of the net, it would have taken more time to come out. But that's what the video replay's for. Let's take a look. Maybe this will tell us. Watch to the left of Mike Richter. There's the pass. Flatley grabs it. There's the rising shot. Bang. Straight down. I would have to think the crossbar, first of all. From that angle, it would appear. Then the puck jumped in the air when Flatley tried to get a rebound. There's the rebound shot by Ferrero. Good stop by Richter as Ferrero gets pounded from behind by Bocaboon.
Let's just listen and see what we hear. Norton sets up Patrick Flatley.
I recognize that clink. It is the crossbar.
Yeah.
But while we're waiting now, Paul Stewart is on the telephone up to the replay booth. Players are all at their respective benches. No goal. Paul Stewart is pointing.
Now let's take a look at the Snapple scoring leaders for the New York Islanders. Pierre Turgeon, with an assist in that opening period, has 7 points, 4 goals, 3 assists. Jeff Norton picked up an assist on the goal by Hogue to give the Islanders a lead. He has 5 points now. Bill Berg and Steve Thomas, each with 4. Thomas an assist in that opening period. And Derek King, Ray Ferraro, and Tom Fitzgerald all with 3 points apiece. And the Islanders with a 3-0 blue line. Slows up. Now lets the shot go. And Healy makes the save, and then he is crashed into and forced back into the net. And they're calling for trainer Ed Kapersky to attend to Glenn Healy.
He got rocketed backward. Somebody knocked a Ranger player into him. Got his head snapped. Adam Graves, I believe, was the one that got barreled into Healy. Stunned for a moment. Healy just trying to gather himself when you see the helmet off.
The Islanders on a power play, and James Patrick taken to the board heavily by Huey Krug. The crowd reacting to that as Turgeon comes over the Ranger line. To Steve Thomas walks in. He scores!
It's a great night of first for the Islanders and their fans. As Steve Thomas, the third player, actually, yes, the fourth player, to score his first goal. Look at this beautiful play by Thomas. Setting it up with Turgeon. A power play goal just seconds after the power play started. There's Turgeon threading the needle to Thomas, and the story, bang. The Islanders regain their...
Back for the Rangers. Turned it up the boards, but it's intercepted by Mullen. Mullen rounds the Ranger net. Looks for somebody in front. Berg is well covered. Mullen puts it in the goal mouth. Bill Berg with a shot. He scores! He's done it again.
The wrinkles get deeper on Roger Nielsen's face. The smiles get wider on the faces of the Islanders, the fans, and particularly Billy Berg. Berg with his fourth goal of the season. All compliments of Brian Mullen. Look at Mullen, head up, looking. Where do I make the play? To the front of the net. There's Berg. Fights off a check by Anderson. Grabs the puck, fires it low along the ice through the feet of Mike Richter. The Islanders with their second goal of the period. Their fifth goal of the game. The fourth one for Bill Berg.
Only 3 behind Mario Lemieux, Kevin Stevens, and Chris Cotto. Ferraro sets up home, puts it in the high slot. Krug walks right in. Huey Krug centering pass, and Patrick a big defensive move for the Rangers. Here, King drops it back for Vladimir Malakov. Goes up the middle with the pass to Turgeon. To King, they got the Rangers in a player change. Derek King dances in, a backhander, he scores!
Well, if you were waiting for Vladimir Malakov to make a move, he did there. What a play. Moved the puck from behind the net all the way up to the center ice line where he found Derek King. Watch King hold Richter on that side of the net. Then he does a double shuffle, goes to the backhand, flips it over the outstretched arms of Mike Richter.
He tuned into National Hockey League play for the first time this season. Commercial breaks during the course of the period are now 1 minute in length, but only 4 of them during the course of the game, unlike the several play stoppages and commercial breaks in the past. Away for a minute when we go now. Rangers would like to try and get one on the board here. The Islanders broke up the rush, and here's Derek King across the Ranger line. His pass went off Kovalev. Sorella plays it around the boards. King waiting for it for the Islanders, and reaching to tip that aside was James Patrick. That's Phil Bork. And Chinoff over the Islander line. Centers one. Kovalev with a shot that went wide. Bork, Chinoff, and Kovalev, the Ranger forward line. Now they change up as Derek King puts the puck in the Ranger end of the ice. And the Islanders will make a change. Benoit Hogue has come out, joining Flatley and Ferraro. Ferraro's shot stopped and then held by Mike Richter.
It may not go into the logbooks as a game for Ray Ferraro, but in my eyes, Jigs, he's had an outstanding hockey game. Every time Mark Messier has hit the ice, so has Ray Ferraro. And Messier has been held not only scoreless, but almost shotless. I don't remember a good scoring opportunity for Mark Messier.
No, I don't either. He's made several good plays, but nothing really around the net that would have resulted in a goal.
Exactly. The play was never finished for one reason or another.
Ray Ferraro jabbed the puck away. Rangers recover behind the net. Jay Wells went to the corner. Brian Leach with Flatley on him. Flatley held it to the blue line and forces the Rangers to go back and try and regroup. And that they do. Jay Wells backhands the puck out towards center ice. Norton will recover it. Jeff Norton has picked up 2 assists in this game tonight. Here the Rangers over the line. Flatley knocked it away from Leach, and down the right side goes Ferraro. Hogue up to join him. Ray Ferraro, nice move, and he can't finish it off as Richter went down to make the save. Messier got knocked off the puck. Flatley can't get it to Hogue, and out comes Leach with a feed to Gartner. 3-on-2 at center ice. Right back to Leach, into the middle, and the shot is wide. Gartner can't get to a loose puck, and the Islanders feed it out on the left side. Ferraro met by Sorella. They're both down on the deck. Play allowed to continue, and Messier takes control of the puck. Mike Gartner slipped away from him right to Brian Mullen. Shot it in over the head of Peter Anderson, who goes to the corner for it. Anderson being watched by Mullen. Loose puck back of the net. Sorella and Mullen after it. In comes Volek as well. Sorella recovers, banked it off the boards, held in by Molotov. Now the Rangers get it out, and Vladimir Molotov has it. The pass is right on the stick of Marty McGinnis to David Volek for a shot. Covered by Mike Richter. Little pushing and shoving, but nothing too serious here. Let's join Stan Fischler. Stan?
Thanks very much, Jigs and Eddie. Pittsburgh leading Hartford 7-3. Steve Thomas is going to be my guest post-game, and we'll show that beautiful goal that he got. Jigs, Eddie?
All right, Stan. David Volek mixing it up a little there after the whistle, Ed.
Well, there's some shots going on when whistles blow, particularly plays around the net. It is so much better than what we used to see with all the clutching and grabbing and shoving in the face. We don't see much of that anymore. A welcome sight we don't see.
Now Darius Kasparaitis got the puck at the Ranger line, left it in. Cleared out now. Volek bumped in the center ice area as he collided with Doug Waite. Molotov jabbed it away from Waite, and here's Darius Kasparaitis carrying it up the ice. Kasparaitis fell as he tried to go to the boards here on the left side. McGinnis dumps it in deep. Kasparaitis to the hit with Sorella, who centered it out in front. Troop at the right point. Into David Volek. Volek, long pass. Kasparaitis in off the point. Fires one. That just missed. It'll bounce outside the line and be recovered by Huey Krupp.
Interesting as Joe Sorella tries to go after Kasparaitis. Kasparaitis waving his stick in front of his nose. Say, come and get me, or eat your way through this 53 inches of wood.
Just a twig in the minds of these players that would. Here's Berg on the left side. Bakota goes to the front of the net. Berg's shot is scooped up and held by Mike Richter. And Berg is challenged by Sorella. Emperors have reached the boiling point.
Of course, the other team naturally goes for the high-scoring player of the opposition, and that happens to be Bill Berg in this case, with another goal tonight. Billy Berg, his 4th of the season. A stoppage of play here late in the 3rd period. We'll be right back.
Well, they call me the fireman. That's my name. Making my rounds all over town, putting out old flames.
Look for George Strait in his new movie from Warner Brothers, Pure Country.
You look like an angel, walk like an angel, talk like an angel, but I got wise. You're the devil in disguise, oh yes you are.
Just when you thought you knew everything about Volvo.
Devil in disguise, oh yes you are.
No penalties on the exchange. Bill Berg still out on the ice. Confidence building with Berg, with the Islanders, and obviously with the fans, several of which have headed for the exits. Confident that the Islanders can hold on for a win. They're up by 5 over the New York Rangers. Scott LeChance got his shot through.
What happens, Jiggs, is when your third and fourth line can do damage offensively, it really makes it tough for the coach and the players on the other team. Generally, you look for the first couple of lines from a team to do the offensive damage. In this case, Bill Berg continues to pop in important goals, and that is hard in this case for the New York Rangers.
Berg on the face-off here that's won by the Rangers as Turcotte has the draw. Now into the center ice area, and Paul Broughton, who we haven't seen much of after being shaken up earlier in this game. Broughton, King, and Turcotte together. The Islanders use Fitzgerald, Vakota, and Bill Berg. Berg has shot it wide of goaltender Mike Richter. Vakota in after it. He took the man. Fitzgerald took the puck, put it in front, and Berg shot it wide. Berg centered again. The Rangers will recover and bring it out on the right side. Here's Chris King over the Islander line. King holds up, then shot one. Healy seemed to react a little late, but he blocked it. And Vakota flips it high in the air. There'll be a penalty against Chris King. He flattened Berg in the center ice area, and immediately Pilon went toward Chris King.
So did Mick Vakota, Jiggs. As King tried to get to the bench, they weren't going to let him get away. Bill Berg looking one way. King came out of nowhere and flattened him in the center ice area just around the Islander blue line. So with 4 minutes remaining in the hockey game, it appears as though King is going to get a penalty, and Richard Pilon. Pilon has the gate open. He's going off the ice. It's charging to Pilon, tripping. It seems to be the call for Chris King.
Chris King, 2 minutes for tripping. Islanders penalty number 47, Rich Pilon, 2 minutes for charging. Time of the penalty is 15:59.
So the penalties, as you heard, will mean that the teams are 4 aside. 4 minutes and 1 second remaining in the third period. Islanders hockey is being brought to you by Mobil. Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. Question is, isn't your car worth the extra protection? Well, I can't remind you enough that tomorrow night, these same two teams meet again. 7 times this season they get together. This one is at Madison Square Garden tomorrow night. We'll have it for you on SportsChannel beginning at 7:30. Well, your Blue Jays are ahead of the Braves, I see, 1-0, Ed.
Are they really? I haven't seen anything that tells me that, but if you tell me, I know that that's a fact.
I wonder where we can get a Blue Jay tie for Roger tomorrow night.
I could have my brother fax one down.
Then Gidov is over the line with a pass to Kovalev. Around Kasparaitis, and he scores! Alexei Kovalev.
Coming into this hockey game, he was billed as a great puck handler, an outstanding skater, and he has, in this hockey game, for the first time, put it all together. He's allowed to walk in the Islanders. Kasparaitis and Molotov on defense. There's Kasparaitis. There's the drop play. There's the fake. Kasparaitis went for the fake, as did Healy, and Kovalev just gently popped a backhander into the net.
Teammates with the Moscow Dynamo Club, Kovalev and Kasparaitis, and now arch rivals here in the National Hockey League. Vladimir Malakov with the puck back in his own zone. That was Kovalev's second goal of the season. Makes the score Islanders 6, Rangers 2. Kasparaitis couldn't get it through Nemchinov, then Turgeon knocked it loose. Out comes Anderson. Peter Anderson trying to split the defense. Does, and a backhander is denied by Glenn Healy. And Genoff in the near corner. Feeds the blue line. Joe Sorella, cross ice. Anderson faked once, then fed it off, but behind Nemchinov. Nemchinov puts it out in front. Sorella, who had jumped in on the play, put it in the corner. Here's Nemchinov. Centers one, broken up by Kasparaitis to Turgeon. Turgeon into the center ice zone with a feed off the boards. It was intended for Ferraro. Richter out to play it. Around to Brian Leach. 2.5 minutes to go in the third period. Leach through center ice and across the Islander blue line. Lost his balance, recovers the puck. Played it in deeper. This is Gartner to the front of the net, and it just went off Healy and wide. Group unable to control it. The Rangers set up Leach for a shot. That hit the outside of the net. The chance ties up Messier. Knocked the puck away from the Ranger captain, who chases it down and steps out of the corner. Messier trying to shift to the forehand. Lost it, and Ferraro will get loose. Ferraro with Messier closing in on him. Mark Messier takes the puck to the side of the net. Gives it to Brian Leach. Leach and Gartner, they crisscross at the Islander line. Gartner drills it and scores!
The Islanders making the mistakes that they did not make through the first 2 periods and almost 3/4 of the third. Now we got a battle going. Pila and King. They've wanted to get going for some time. Now they have the opportunity.
Chris King got a left through that knocked Pilon off balance. Both of them without their jerseys and both headed for the dressing room. Well, need I remind you that they take this to Madison Square Garden tomorrow night?
Well, for the Islanders, Jiggs, that's the part that they don't like, and they shouldn't like, because they had a stranglehold on the Rangers, keeping them to 1 goal. Then they started to get loose. They started to make mistakes. A 4-on-4 situation, and Kovalev is allowed to walk around Kasparaitis. Take a look again at the goal. That's Leach. His drop pass to Gartner, and from 25 feet, he's dangerous. He's dangerous from 55 feet. He's twice as dangerous, if you will, from 25. So Mike Gartner grabbed the puck and in front of Norton whistled it on the short side past Glenn Healy. The other shame of it all for Healy is that he had performed brilliantly in the first 2+ periods, trying to get his average down. And Mike Gartner did some damage. 1 minute and 56 seconds remaining in the third period. Chris King to the Ranger dressing room. Richard Pilon to the Islander dressing room.
They've been involved back in the second period, roughing penalties and misconduct penalties. Then King and Pilon were set off at 15:59. They'd been back out on the ice for 5 seconds before that goal by Gartner, and then squared off. So Kovalev with his second, and now Mike Gartner getting his third of the season. Messier drew an assist on the Gartner goal as well. Here's Bill Berg coming in off the left side. A chance with a shot from the point that was blocked in front of the net, and is brought out by Doug Waite. 1 minute and 39 seconds left. Waite cruising in, and his shot hit Krupp, comes out through center ice. Bill Berg chases it. Tangled up with Sorella. They go body to body. Tom Fitzgerald moves in, knocks the puck loose, put it across the front of the net. Flatley takes the man, but the Rangers take the puck. That's Adam Graves on the left side. And now Bill Berg and Joe Sorella are ready to square off back at the Ranger blue line, but linesman Kevin Collins got in quickly, didn't allow a punch to be thrown. Sticks are down, the gloves are off, and referee Paul Stewart is signaling some more penalties. That'll be all for Sorella and Berg, obviously.
Well, Billy Berg and his line mates doing some damage offensively. Tommy Fitzgerald along with Pat Flatley this time, getting down deep into the Ranger territory, trying to take some of the heat off Glenn Healy. Al Arbor, a moment ago, Roger Nielsen. They have been coaching combatants over the years.
And verbal sparring partners, too, haven't they?
Absolutely. Not a lot of love between the two. Of course, they downplay it and poo-poo it whenever they're asked. But you got to know, underneath all that, the fires burn in a man like Al Arbor.
Reading today where Roger Nielsen said he didn't think he'd ever won a game in this building coaching the New York Rangers. Roger did win. First time he brought the Rangers in here after he had taken over the team in '89. They beat the Islanders here October 28th of '89, and 10 trips since, and now the 11th, it appears, without a win. There are a couple of ties. It appears that this will be the 9th loss. 11 trips to the Nassau Coliseum. The Islanders haven't won the last 4 visits to Madison Square Garden. And this will extend the Islander lead over the Rangers lifetime to 62 wins, 57 losses, and 11 ties. The Rangers don't come back until the day after Christmas. They're into the Islander zone offside with 42.7 of a second left in the first meeting of the season between these two rivals.
12 goals separated these two teams in 129 games that they had played against each other. That'll now be 15. The Islanders holding the edge in the goals for category.
I don't know that I mentioned, but the penalties on Pilon and Chris King were for fighting at 1804. I guess you figured that one out. 40 shots on goal tonight for the New York Islanders. No idea how many the Rangers have had because of Mike Fosse's retired number 22. I'm going to put a hole in that, I think, yes? Just a little peephole.
Well, if they could raise it up a little higher, might help, but I don't know, maybe it wouldn't. There's not enough rafter up there.
Steve Thomas brings the puck into the Ranger zone. Got taken out on the boards, and then Chinoff leaves it up ahead, but too far for Alexei Kovalev. It goes right to Healy. Put it back to the net. The fans counting off the final seconds, and they stand to applaud the Islanders.
Little different move, Jigs. Markov, he slides the puck back to Healy. Let him play with it for a while. So Malikov showing some of the European style as Roger Nielsen heads for the dressing room. Jubilant New York Islander team gather around their goaltender, Glenn Healy, who was outstanding again in this hockey game.
Rangers do outscore the Islanders in the third period, getting a couple of late goals to cut the margin, make it look a little more respectable. Steve Thomas has a big night, so is Pierre Turgeon and so many more. And your final score is the New York Islanders 6, the New York Rangers 3. We'll be back with a recap after these messages.
If you ever have to call us for service,
24-hour service.
it could be in the middle of the night.
24-hour service.
It might be a holiday.
24-hour service.
Or in the middle of a storm.
24-hour service.
There's always someone here to answer your phone call, never a machine.
24-hour service. Nina.
When I was a little girl, I knew if I wanted something done right, I had to do it myself. I still believe that, even though I'm not a little girl anymore. And if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you know Auto-Rite is the only place you need for auto parts and accessories. From filters to spark plugs to seat covers, Auto-Rite has the best selection and the best prices. Motorcraft filters, batteries, and motor oil deliver top performance on the racetrack and highway. Motorcraft, the power behind the parts. So do it yourself, and do it right at Auto-Rite.
Coming up for the Islanders on SportsChannel. Tuesday, Eric Lindros and the Philadelphia Flyers make their Long Island debut. Friday, we're heading down to Washington to play our Patrick Division rivals, the Washington Capitals. That's the lineup, so don't miss the Islanders on SportsChannel.
Hey, what's in a name? Hofstra, the Big East, Seton Hall. For the names you know and the games you want to see. Watch the finest local colleges on SportsChannel. A lot to get excited about.
There are the numbers, the final score, the Islanders 6 and the New York Rangers 3. And we go back to the first period where the Islanders really did the damage. 3 unanswered goals as we check the summary. Benoit Holt from Flatley and Norton. Vladimir Malakov on a power play from Thomas and Turgeon. And then Brian Mullen from David Volek. And the Islanders are up 3-zip. The Rangers hit first in the second period. Darren Turcotte, second of the year from Doug Waite. But then the Islanders are to get 2, 1 on the power play. Steve Thomas from Pierre Turgeon and Jeff Norton. And Bill Berg with his 4th from Brian Mullen at 18:30. So the Islanders go to the third period comfortable and extend it to 6-1 when Derek King scores his 3rd from Vladimir Malakov and Pierre Turgeon at 5:36, excuse me. And then late in the game, the New York Rangers hit twice. Kovalev's 2nd goal from Nemchinov and Anderson is scored at 16:15, and Mike Gartner drills his 3rd of the season, assist to Brian Leach and Mark Messier at 18:04. The shot summary on the game, the Islanders outshoot the Rangers in all 3 periods, 12-11 in the first, 15-10 in the second, and 13-11 in the third, for a game total of 40 shots for the Islanders, 32 for the Rangers. And the Islanders have an excellent night on the power play and a big night for Steve Thomas, who gets his 1st of the season after having been denied so many times. And Steve Thomas is with our Stan Fischler.
Well, not only did he get the winning goal, Jiggs, he also assisted on Malakov's goal in the first period. And I hear you got a big new contract. You're a happy guy.
Yeah, pretty happy. I've signed a new deal in July. Had a kid in May.
Christian, the boy's name.
Little boy. And it's great around the house right now. Running after him.
It was also great. It was also great at the Coliseum tonight. Now, I asked this question to Patrick Flatley at the end of the first. Whether the big ceremonies, what kind of effect it had on the team. He said it was positive for him. What about for you, Steve Thomas?
Yeah, it's real positive. It's nice to see the building packed for the game tonight, and it's kind of difficult to really get motivated to play some of the games during the season when there's only like 9,000-10,000 people there. It really gives you a lot of enthusiasm. You try and keep yourself loose before the game started, and just try to stretch a little bit, but it went over really well.
You know, we were wondering, you had so many shots on goal going into tonight's game, when you were going to get a break, and you made your own break. It was a beautiful play, and I'd like you to lead us through it right from there with Pierre Turgeon.
Well, I like when Pierre takes it over the blue line and gains the line. He's so crafty with the puck, and I just went out on a goal, and I got him too close, and I just looked up, and his 5-hole was open, so I tried to shove it through there.
Can you tell me how you can tell his 5-hole is open at this point?
Well, when I got in close, right there.
You could tell?
Yeah. See, he had to go from one post to the other. He'd do a 2-leg slider, he'd open his legs, and I just hoped he opened his legs, and he did.
Now, did you ever entertain the thought on that play of going all the way wide to the left, which was another option?
Yeah, I guess I could have, but the opportunity was there to go 5-hole, and I took it, I guess, and I'm just glad because I've had almost 30 shots in the 5 games, and I've had good quality shots, but they just haven't gone in for me, and I'm just glad to get the monkey off my back now.
Steve Thomas, pick one point in tonight's game that you think was the turning point that gave the Islanders the edge over the Rangers.
I think we played pretty well disciplined tonight. We didn't take too many penalties that were detrimental to us. Our penalty killing, I think, won our hockey game for us. We played well offensively, and we played great in our own end. I don't think there's one thing you can really put your finger on. I think it was collectively 20 guys working hard and doing their jobs.
And Mario Lemieux is worried about Bill Berg moving up on him. We're going to have a lot to say about Bill in the future. Jiggs?
All right, Stan, and I think Steve hit it right on the head. The Islander penalty killing 6 opportunities for the Rangers on the power play, and they kill off all 6.
More and more, Jiggs, and I think it's been pointed out by a lot of people, and we make that point also, that the specialty teams, as they have been in the past, but more so maybe today, particularly early in the season, you've got to have them operating well. The Islanders 2 for 2 on the power play, that's a killer. When a team like the Rangers come in and think that maybe they can get away with things because the Islander power play has not worked that well. Well, they got a surprise.
There are a few rubs in the nose and a few little bumps and the sticks up a couple of times, some fisticuffs. Just an indication that, hey, we'll see you tomorrow night. We're not going to forget this. The game goes back to Madison Square Garden.
It does, and we look for some more exciting hockey. A good hockey game I suppose for the Ranger fans and the players, that doesn't sound credible, but for hockey fans in particular, a general hockey fan, a good action-packed hockey game, some good end-to-end action, some good saves. Glenn Healy again coming up big. I remember back to the Boston Bruin hockey game when he faced 42 shots and was outstanding in that game on the road, and here at home, when they needed him, he was there.
And now Old Spice.
Yes.
Cologne and deodorant presents the player who made the difference.
Yes, the player who made the difference. I thought the puck handling and playmaking ability of Pierre Turgeon, Jiggs. He was everywhere on the ice. He held off some checks. He played the disciplined hockey game, the control game in the face-off circles as well as in the offensive zone. Goes back, helps out his team deep. So the Old Spice player of the hockey game, Pierre Turgeon.
Providing the winning difference as the Islanders win this game by a score of 6-3. What have you selected as the Bud play of the game?
The Budweiser play of the hockey game, Jiggs, would be the power play goal. The first power play opportunity that the Islanders scored on, and that was Malakoff, and he shot it from the point, but leading up to that, it was only a minute and something like 44 seconds after Benoit Hogue opened the scoring. The Rangers' Jeff Bokaboom takes an elbowing penalty. The Islanders go on the power play, and they told a story, scoring on their first shot on the power play. Malakoff there goes slipping by into the net behind Mike Richter, and that is the Budweiser play of the game.
A goal and an assist tonight for Vladimir Malakoff as the Islanders win this one. The first of 7 against the Rangers. The final is 6-3. We'll be back with a look at the other scores in the league and the skinny following these messages.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
You feel terrible. Do you want to make some money? Okay. You feel terrible.
The New York Times calls Night in the City a lively, gripping foray into the urban landscape.
No can do. What's no can do? What's that, a Chinese appetizer?
Not since Raging Bull has there been such a performance.
This is it, man.
Gritty, intense, powerhouse performances from De Niro and Lang.
You want to kill me? I'll give a damn.
I'll bring you home, baby.
Night in the City, rated R. Exclusive New York engagement now playing. Starts Friday everywhere.
You're about to see an amazing detergent at work. Just look for the big red O. Drive in. Fill up with Mobil Super Unleaded Plus. And it starts working. Unclogging fuel injectors, cleaning intake valves as you drive. Giving your car performance that's trouble-free. So drive your engine clean with Mobil Super Unleaded Plus, the detergent gasoline.
Instead of offering you the widest range of 8mm camcorders, Fuji offers you the 8mm camcorder with the widest range. It has a 12:1 zoom, a super wide-angle lens, and Fuji's unique multi-action grip. Buy it at Nobody Beats the Wiz for just $8.99 and get a $100 gift certificate or a Fuji Discovery camera absolutely free. Fuji camcorders at Nobody Beats the Wiz. A new way of seeing things.
New York Islanders hockey has been brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. By Mobil Super Unleaded Plus, the detergent gasoline. By Old Spice Antiperspirant. For great odor protection, now you've got proof, not promises. By Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers. For everything in home electronics, music, and movies, nobody beats the Wiz. And by Snapple Natural Beverages, made from the best stuff on earth.
As we return to the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, the crowd has filed out of this building. A lot of them left early with the Islanders up big, and then it ends up a 6-3 victory. And here's what has happened elsewhere in the Wiz out-of-town scoreboard. Nobody beats the Wiz. The Devils did beat the Flyers tonight in a shutout for Chris Terreri. Goals by Tommy Obeling and Todd with the other. Kevin Todd's third, and it is 2-0 final. The Devils over the Flyers. Pittsburgh wins big, 7-3 in Hartford. Tom Barrasso went all the way for the Penguins. Sean Burke started. Frank Pietrangelo mopped up as Kevin Stevens had 4 of the 7 goals for the Pittsburgh Penguins. At Washington, the Caps remain ahead of the New York Islanders in the Patrick Division standings with a 6-3 win. Dom Beaupre in the nets tonight against Hasek for Buffalo. And as we check further, St. Louis has run up a 7-5 lead in the third period in the game at Quebec. Quebec was one time led by a score of 3-1 and are trailing by a pair. A final now from Detroit, where the Red Wings have defeated the Edmonton Oilers 4-2. Dino Ciccarelli with his third of the season. Yzerman got his fourth, better off his second, and Yzerman his first in that victory. At Montreal, the Canadians, who have been struggling recently, have a 6-1 lead over the Minnesota North Stars. They're playing in the third period, 6-1 Montreal. And a final from Maple Leaf Gardens. The Maple Leafs have defeated the Chicago Blackhawks. It is just over, and a final of 4-2 as Belfour again fails to win. Grant Fuhr was in the nets for the Maple Leafs. Games that are just underway out in Los Angeles. The Kings are hosting the Boston Bruins, while the San Jose Sharks are at home tonight to the Calgary Flames. Nobody Beats the Wiz has you up to date on the National Hockey League scoreboard this Saturday night. Now the Skinny, still officially unsponsored, but we're going to give it to a former New York Islander who would love to have been here tonight. A guy by the name of Billy Harris, the original #1 draft pick 21 years ago, has opened Harry O's in Manhattan Beach, California. So if you're ever in Manhattan Beach and thirsty, look for what used to be the Brennan's location down by the beach area there, across from the Mexican joint. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, Harry O and all his guys are there, and I know they'd love to see you. So go to California and have one on us at Harry O's. Here's the Skinny for tonight. The Islanders have scored the opening goal in each and every game thus far this season. Point number 2, they have led or been tied at the end of the first period in all 5 games, and they entered the game 22nd in penalty killing, but killed all 6 New York Ranger power plays in this game tonight, and they meet again tomorrow. So once again, your final score in tonight's game is the New York Islanders 6 and the New York Rangers 3. Tomorrow night at 7:30 on Sports Channel, the Islanders play Game 2 of this home-and-home series with the New York Rangers. And then on Tuesday at 7:30, the Islanders will host Eric Lindros and the Philadelphia Flyers. Devils fans can see their team on Thursday at 8:30 when the Devils go to Chicago to face the Blackhawks. For Ed Westfall and Stan Fischler, I'm Jakes McDonald saying so long until tomorrow, and thanks for watching Islanders hockey on Sports Channel.
Due to the
beginning a season without the game's greatest, Wayne Gretzky. Well, for the Los Angeles Kings, focus on ice. Let memories be memories.
Duchesne's pass in deep to Taylor to Gretzky. Scores!
We're all Islanders, and if you want Long Island's best team for insurance, go for National Security Brokerage. You'll feel secure with National Security Brokerage. Let's go Islanders!